Hello everybody, it's Metal Bro Joe, and I figured I would finally get around to doing another video. It's been months since I did a video, and I think one of the last ones I did was talking about maybe my Alice Cooper collection or my shirts or something like that. And so I figured it's like a month or two late. I know the album came out in February, but I figured I'd talk a little bit about Detroit Stories. And I know Doug had uploaded a video, or he had talked about maybe one of our live streams where he got the maybe got the album and he got like the all the goodies and stuff. I just got the one that's got the CD and the DVD, or I guess it's a Blu-ray, whatever. And then I got the shirt too, which has got the cool artwork. And I really like the font, the sort of bloody font. Those are my favorite Alice Cooper fonts, or the blood ones. But I thought I'd just kind of give you my thoughts on the record, and I don't know why it's the German one. Whatever. And I think this is a weird release. I don't. I think I'm going to be somewhat. It's going to come across that I'm kind of hard on this record. It's good. I think it's worth getting. I think it's worth listening to. So, kind of before I go into my critiques, I think I'll just talk about the things that I like. I do think the cover's pretty cool, and I think the booklet's pretty cool. Some pictures, and it's got the lyrics and stuff like that. And then the Paranormal Evening at the Olympia Paris is a good show. It's got, I can't remember like exactly which leg of the tour this was on. I know I saw him on several of these Paranormal Nights, Spend the Night with Alice Cooper tours, opening with Brutal Planet, so that's cool. Pain is in there. I know I saw him play that one, and that's a cool one from Flush the Fashion that doesn't get a lot of love. The World Needs Guts was on that tour, and that's on this, so that is fantastic. Finally get some Kane Roberts love. Let's see, Woman of Mass Distraction. I always like that one from Dirty Diamonds. That's cool. Halo of Flies is one of the big middle sections of the show. That's a good one. And sadly, though, the name of the show is Paranormal Evening with Alice Cooper. He plays a whopping one song from the Paranormal album, which is Paranoid Personality, which is a great tune. I love it. I really liked Paranormal overall. I even really liked the cover song on it, the Holy Water, which is like a country rap song or something that Alice redid, whatever. But I think it's a little weird that you named the tour after the album and then play one song from the album, but whatever. Slayer did that, I think, one time too. They had like a 25 years of Divine Intervention, and I remember seeing like some of the shirts of the 25th anniversary of Divine Intervention. Played 0 songs off Divine Intervention. Okay, then don't name the tour after the album. Whatever, whatever. There's nothing I can do about it. So cool Blu-ray though, cool show, definitely worth checking out. And then Alice sounds great. The band sounds great. And let's go back into then the actual album itself, Detroit Stories. One of the things that really irritates me about Alice a lot is that he doesn't use his band. He has, other writers do these songs. Sometimes they're in the bands. I think Tommy Henriksen writes a lot of the songs on Detroit Stories. And so that's cool, but it's like, where is Chuck Garrick? And why is Nita Strauss not writing on this? Why isn't Glenn Sobel writing these songs and recording these songs? To me, it doesn't make sense. About a month ago, they did a video on YouTube where they were talking. They had like a little band meeting, and I watched it. And Alice announced that they want to do a record sort of live on the road, or they were going to call it The Road, which I hope he comes up with a better name than that. But finally, an album written by his touring band and performed by his touring band, which is a no-brainer to me. Like, they're great musicians. Why they haven't been writing and recording the past several albums is a mystery. So that would be really neat to do. But with that being said, one of the things about Detroit Stories that I've got to say, like, really kind of bums me out is this album just feels like there's an album in here, and then there's a bunch of stuff thrown onto it to make it look like more of an album than it really is. So I kind of wrote this out a little while ago. There are 12 tracks, right? If I'm reading this right, 12... No, there's... Oh, gosh, I can't even read it. So 11, 12, 13... It looks like there's 15 tracks on the version that I'm looking at right now. Oh, I think you can hear the dogs squeaking their toys in the background like usual. Of those tracks, 4 of them are cover songs. And of those 4 cover songs, 2 of them were already on the Breadcrumbs EP from before this, Sister Ann, the MC5 cover, which is good, and then the East Side Story, the Bob Seger cover, which is good. But we've already had them. They were already on the Breadcrumbs EP. So I thought, okay, I mean, I guess it's cool, kind of consider bonus tracks, whatever. But then the first 2 singles from Detroit Stories, one was Rock and Roll, which was the, Velvet Underground cover. It's fine. I'm not a Velvet Underground fan, but I think this version is probably better than theirs, but whatever, it's fine. I think it's weird that you release a cover as your first single sometimes. And then the second single was Our Love Will Change the World, which I don't really like all that much. I mean, it's kind of Beatle-y, so I guess I like that. But that's like some Detroit band that's called like Dangerous Cherry or something. It's one of their songs. So your first 2 singles are covers, and then you've got 2 other covers on the album that have also been released on the Breadcrumbs EP. I'm like, come on. And then, going off of the Breadcrumbs EP thing, there are 2 songs on Detroit Stories that were also on the Breadcrumbs EP. One of them is Go Man Go, which is track 2, which is a cool song. It's got some pretty funny lyrics. It's pretty rockin' tune. But it was already on Breadcrumbs. It was the one new track on the Breadcrumbs EP. So, all right, again, the first 3 tracks then on Detroit Stories, the track listing I'm looking at, are 2 covers and a previously released track. Seems like a weird way to start your record. And then, about midway through the album, track, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, track 7 is Detroit City 2021, which is fine. It's not amazing, but it's not bad. I like it and all. I think it's finally a Chuck Garrick writing credit. But Detroit City 2021 was on the Breadcrumbs EP. I believe it was called Detroit City either 19 or Detroit City 2020. But then that song was a re-recorded version of Detroit City from the Eyes of Alice Cooper. So, I mean, we're like, I don't even think we're double dipping at this point. I think we're triple dipping at this point. Alice and his triple dipping of his own records. Alice is remaking his own remakes at this point. So that's impressive. That's really impressive. And then going on the thread of previously released tracks, there's the track on here. It's titled Hanging On By a Thread, Don't Give Up, which was that really awful and cringy pandemic song that Alice did in 2020. The original version sucked, and this album version sucks. It's just not good. And I don't blame Alice, blame Bob Ezrin. I think a lot of times when Alice, I think Bob Ezrin's one of those guys that I like a lot of the albums Bob Ezrin has produced, but I think Bob Ezrin is probably one of those producers that has a little bit too much involvement in the writing and the recording of the bands. I feel like a lot of times we listen to some of the newer Deep Purple stuff that Bob did. I feel like I'm almost hearing similar things in the Alice stuff, and I feel as if I'm not getting enough of the Alice and Alice Cooper. I'm not getting enough Deep Purple and Deep Purple. I'm getting too much Bob Ezrin in both. And you can say that about Kiss, going back to the 70s when, they introduced, string section and stuff. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't for me. But I kind of have a suspicion that Bob Ezrin doesn't overstep his boundaries, but he's basically a member of the band. Hell, he's probably got more writing credits and has played on more Alice albums than his band members have. So again, I mean, of all these kind of things, you've got, you got previously released tracks, you've got a lot of covers, and then you've got these things from the Breadcrumbs EP. And it just kind of bums me out. So kind of when you tally it all down, if I did my mathematics right, there's on a 15-track album, there are really only 8 new songs that are written for the album. There's Social Debris, that's got the surviving original band members, which is a great song. Love it. Absolutely love it. That should have been the first single. I have no idea why it was the 3rd single. I hope they play it live if they get to tour, which I hope they do. I really like the sort of 70s funky, sleazy, $1,000 high heel shoes. I think it's a really cool and fun song. It irritates me that on my version, the $sign is in the wrong place. If you guys can kind of see that, it may be backwards. Yeah, the resolution may not be that great on this. I apologize for that. But it's instead of having the $sign and then 1,000, it's 1,000 and $sign. Like the kids at school do that. That's wrong. The $sign goes in the front. But great song. I love it. It's got some backup singers, which I believe are the Sledge Sisters, which is impressive. Fun song. I like it. I can see that. I can imagine that a lot of people probably don't like that track, but I do. I think it's really cool. Hail Mary is a cool rocker. Not exactly, super original. Like, I don't know how many times have we heard Hail Mary and used in rock and metal. Okay, fine. Fun song, rockin' song. I like it. That'd be a cool live song. Drunken in Love has a hilarious lyric. I really dig the bluesy vibe of it, but there's a song that I think the lyric is like, I saw you and I pissed my pants. Just funny. And but it's a pretty cool track, and I think that's one of the tracks I think Joe Bonamassa either co-wrote or played on the record, so that's pretty cool. And there's all sorts of guests on the record too, so that's kind of neat. A lot of Joe Bonamassa plays, and you got some of the guys from MC5, and you got all sorts of other random guests that show up, which is cool. There's Independence Dave, which is kind of like Alice when he does his silly songs. The music is pretty cool. The melody is cool. It's catchy. It's again kind of like one of those. To me, that's one of those goofy songs that would have been on one of the Lost Weekend albums of of Zipper Catches Skin or something like that. Not bad, but I mean, if he never played it live, it wouldn't be a huge deal. I Hate You has, again, the surviving members of the original Alice Cooper band, so it's kind of fun for that. But this is another one of those really goofy songs, and their vocal delivery on this is nothing short of cartoonish. Which I guess is the point. Obviously, it's meant to be kind of silly and fun. And there's a little heartfelt thing at the end where they all yell at Glenn Buxton about how they hate him because he left a vacancy on the side of the stage where he used to play. So that's kind of sweet. But again, is it a track that I'm going to seek out and listen to? Probably not. I'll go Social Debris over I Hate You every time. Wonderful World is pretty cool. That one, it's got some weird parts to it, but I think it's kind of got a cool haunting melody. So I would dig that one. That's a good track. And then the last like real new track for it is called Shut Up and Rock, and that one's kind of fun too. I like that one, and it's a sentiment that I think I can sometimes get behind. And Alice is pretty good about doing this. Alice has never really come across as very preachy with his music or his live performances. In fact, he doesn't really talk to the audience much at all, which in a way I kind of really like. And so it's just kind of like one of those, I don't really want to hear you preach your politics, your religion to me. Just play the tunes and let's have a good time, which I can definitely get behind. So fun sentiment to kind of leave the album on, but then it ends with East Side Story, which again is a cool track, but it's the same cover that you heard that was on the Breadcrumbs EP. So at the end of the day, I don't know, overall, if I were to give this like a rating, I do appreciate the American flag on the inside. I don't know, I'm just a sucker for that. And I guess I was wearing a Kiss shirt earlier that's got my Kiss. It's got like the Independence Day Alive 2 kind of thing going on, which is fun. So whatever. The booklet, again, there's a lot of the lyrics are in here, even to the cover songs. And actually, I guess there's not too many pictures. There's artwork in the background, like some buildings of the skyline and the headlight or the searchlights and stuff. There's a cool shot of the band. So that's that's pretty cool. And there's of course a shot of Alice in there. Overall, it is worth getting. It is worth listening to. It does kind of bum me out though that it had borrowed so much from other things that he's got. So I guess if you kind of think of it as really like an 8 or 9 track album with a bunch of bonus tracks, you can kind of think of it that way, except they're sort of mixed throughout the record. So not my favorite Alice Cooper, not my least favorite Alice Cooper, probably somewhere in the middle. And, hopefully it's not his last record. I hope he keeps going. I hope they get to tour it again soon. I'd love to see him again. And there you go. Let me know what you guys think. And hopefully you guys like Detroit Stories. And if not, well, there's 25 other Alice Cooper records that we can listen to instead. So anyway, thank you guys. And we'll see you on the next live stream.